This conference will now be recorded.
So today let us start off with one more new topic and the last part of our course, that is Angular framework. So what is this Angular is like? Angular is a TypeScript based. Angular is what? It's a TypeScript based open source front-end web application platform. What front-end web application platform? It's mainly for the front-end purpose. The content what we want to display onto the browser and to the user, that we develop by using Angular, and it is TypeScript based. So what is this TypeScript? Is very simple. TypeScript is superscript of JavaScript. TypeScript is what? It's a superscript of JavaScript. As we are having background of Java and even JavaScript, understanding TypeScript code will be very simple to us. Now, the main difference is JavaScript vs TypeScript. JavaScript does not support data types directly. TypeScript supports data types, whereas TypeScript supports what? Data type. This is the main difference. That's the reason the name has come TypeScript, because TypeScript is supporting data types, whereas JavaScript does not support data types directly. Like example, when we go with JavaScript, how to declare a variable? We use let and variable name. Let and the variable name. Let and the variable name. But what about data type? We did not mention any data type. Then how it knows the data type of the variable? Based on the value of the variable, it is going to decide the data type. Based on the value of the variable, it is going to decide the data type. So here, since we have stored 10, then n is number data type. N is what type here? Number data type. Then since we stored name value in double quotes or single quotes, then name is string data type. And flag true, so then flag is Boolean data type. So based on the value of the variable, it is going to decide the data type in the case of JavaScript. Coming to TypeScript, here we go with the variable name colon the data type and the value. Variable name colon data type and the value in double quotes or single quotes. Tag Boolean like this. So we can mention the data type over here. We can mention the data type. That's the reason the name has come TypeScript, as it is supporting data types. So this is the main difference between JavaScript and TypeScript. So in Angular, we go with the code of what? TypeScript here. It's based on TypeScript. Then Angular is developed by Google. It is a complete rewrite. From the same team. It's a complete rewrite from the same team that built Angular JS. We are having Angular JS also. So Angular JS, in Angular JS, the code what we write is with JavaScript. In Angular, the code what we write is with TypeScript. And remember, both are different. Angular and Angular JS are different. So in order to learn Angular, you don't require any background of Angular JS. Both are different. And this is outdated also. People are not using this Angular JS nowadays, and there is no support from Google team also related to Angular JS. So directly you learn Angular. What is the main use of going with Angular? This is the very important point. Angular is used to design single page applications. Angular is used to design single page applications using routing. This is the main concept of Angular. So what do you mean by single page applications? Let us understand. For that, let me open a website here, angular.io CLI. This is the official homepage of Angular. This is the official homepage of Angular. Now in this page, whenever you take a web page, it is divided into some components. So this is one component. So a part of area we call it as component. This is one more component. This is one component. This area is one more component. A web page is divided into some multiple components. Right? This area is also one more component like this. Now, when you make a request, like example here, I'll say getting started. What is Angular? What is Angular? See, only part of the page will get reloaded here. Observe here. Try it, getting started. See here, only this part of area is getting reloaded. Check it once. Adding navigation. See here, managing data. Only part of the area will get reloaded. Some parts will be fixed. Some parts will be changing. So instead of reloading the complete page, only some part of the web page will be reloaded here. So here it is reloading this side and this side. So remaining all becoming fixed over here. This type of applications only we call single page applications. Single page applications. And how we develop this? Using routing. So in the next class, we will be learning how to create these single page applications using Angular using a concept what? Routing. In the next class, we will discuss this practically. Clear all of you? Any questions up to here? Right? Now, the main objective of today's class is we'll see how to make this Angular setup on our operating system. That means how to make use of Angular on our operating system. That setup we'll make it ready today. So compulsory you need to do also from your end. You need to make your system ready with Angular. Angular setup. In order to work with Angular, the first thing what you require is Node.js. The first software what we need to install is Node.js. And the need of Node.js is used to develop and run Angular applications. In order to develop and run Angular applications, we require Node.js. Then how to download is to download we make use of the URL nodejs.org. Just open this URL. Let me open nodejs.org. Here in this page, here you can find the download button. Here you can find download button. So when you click on this download, it's going to download the software. Then once the download is completed, we have to run this application. That's it. Run the application as usual. Run. Just click next, finish. Then the installation will be successful. Okay, simple installation. Already I have done this part. Then how to verify this? How to verify whether installation is successful? To verify Node.js, open command prompt or terminal. In the case of Windows, we say command prompt. In the case of Linux or Mac, we say terminal. So once we open that command prompt, we have to use the command node-v. -v means version. V means what here? Version. To see the version of Node.js. Here, let me show this. Open command prompt. Then type here node-v. It is going to show the version of Node which is installed on our operating system. In my case, I'm having 16 version. right? Then one more command also we need to check over here. One more command, that is npm -v. npm stands for Node Package Manager. So when we install Node.js, when we install this Node.js, even it comes with this npm command. And the use of Node Package Manager is used to install Angular CLI. In order to install Angular CLI, that is Angular software on our system, we make use of npm command. So in order to use this npm command only, we make use of this node here. So this node acts like a server. So Angular applications will be running in the node server here. So installing server is only main thing of node. Then how to check here? npm-v is going to show the version of npm command to us. In my case, 8.11. Now, once we install node, the next thing what we require is a text editor which can open folders. A text editor which can open folders like Sublime Text, Visual Studio Code, like this. Visual Studio Code. How to download Visual Studio Code? Already we know this. In our case, we'll go with Visual Studio Code, as we are already used to this Visual Studio Code in web technologies like HTML, CSS. So here you can make use of this URL, code.visualstudio.com download. So here we can able to download our Visual Studio Code. So already we discussed on this. You can make use of this URL to download Visual Studio Code. The next one what you require is Angular CLI. The next what we have to install on our system, Angular CLI. This is the main thing. So what is this CLI? CLI stands for command line interface. So what is this command line interfaces? In Angular we make use of the commands. It's going to provide an interface where we can type the commands like creating components, okay, creating classes, creating services, like that. We're running our Angular application. So we provide the commands here. That interface only we call command line interface. Then to install Angular CLI, we have to use the command here. The main use of CLI is like Angular CLI makes it easy to create an application that already works. It comes with the working application to us. So when we install Angular CLI, it comes with a working application directly. We can run it and check it whether it is showing the result. Then based on requirement, we just go to the respective files and modify the code, right? Then how to go with this one is the URL is https://angular.io CLI. This is the official homepage of Angular. Let me open. This is the official homepage of Angular. Here if you scroll down, here you can see the data sheet. Installing Angular CLI. How to install Angular CLI? By using this command. So npm install -g @Angular CLI. Okay, @Angular CLI. So when you say 17, it's going to install 17 version. Okay. So version is important. So don't go with the latest version now. Whatever the version I provide in the class, that version only you install. So that whatever the examples I'm showing, you can even work with that. Okay, in the latest version, some changes has come. Still, I too did not get updated on that. So some better to go with what? My version. Whatever the version I'm showing, you go with that version only, so that you won't have any issues with the applications, whatever I'm showing to you. Right? So this command we have to use npm install -g @Angular CLI. So to install Angular CLI, open command prompt or terminal. In our case, it is command prompt. Then we have to use which command? npm install -g @Angular CLI. This is for what? To install the latest version. To install the latest version. Then, to install a specific version. To install a specific version of Angular CLI, you can use the command npm install -g @Angular CLI, and again we have to say @14.1.0 is recommended to install. This is recommended for you. This version is recommended for you because I am using this version in my system. So go with the same version. And what is this -g? To install globally. What is G here? To install globally, so that we can work in any folder. We can work in any folder. We can work with what? If you are not using -g, then whichever the folder we install Angular, in that folder only we have to work with Angular. If I say -g, I can work with Angular in any folder. So to install globally, we use -g. So this command we have to use. So use this command to install Angular. Here at your prompt, say here npm install -g @Angular CLI @14.1.0. Give this command to install Angular. Right? So once we press enter key, it is going to install Angular on our system, and it may take approximately 10 minutes for you to install this. Depends on the system configuration, it takes time for us. Okay, so already I have done this part. Just type this command and press enter key to install. To verify the installation, verify at your prompt or terminal, use the command ng version to see the version. Ng version. There it's going to show the banner Angular CLI, and see in my case the Angular version is what? 14.1.0. Right? So what is this ng means? Ng means Angular only. The ng two characters are taken from this Angular word. See here, Angular word, in that from they have taken these two characters to make the commands. Clear all of you? Any questions up to here? The installation part? Three things what we require: Node.js, then a text editor like Visual Studio Code, then Angular CLI. These three things we need to install. Now, see the next step in the official homepage of Angular. So we have done with installation. The next basic workflow, the workflow is what? We have to create a project. So what is the command to create a project? Ng new my first project. Ng new is the command, and go with the project name. Go with what? Project name here. Then once we create the project, this project will become folder. The project name will become folder. Open that folder here, cd my first project. Once we open this folder, we have to use the command ngserve. ngserve is used to run our application, to compile and run. And once the project is compiled successfully, we have to open browser and we have to type this URL: http://localhost 4200. So Angular application will be running in the live server, running in this port number 4200. Right? Now let me show this part now. Creating an Angular project. Creating an Angular project. How to create is just same, open command prompt, or terminal. So here we have to use ng new Angular project, the project name. Ng new, the project name. Right? So first of all, let us create one folder. In that folder, let us create md Angular. We are creating a folder Angular, and now say cd Angular. So now we are in Angular folder. In Angular folder, we are creating the project. Any folder, it's up to you. Whichever the folder you want to work, you can work. So in our case, let us work in our folder, that is C drive 2024 Java online file. In this, let me copy this address, come to command prompt, cd backslash, we'll go to the parent drive and say cd, control V to paste the address. So now we are in this folder, we are in our folder. Any folder can work. Now let me create one folder md Angular and cd Angular. So we are in now Angular folder. Here in this folder, I want to create a Angular project. How to create Angular project? Using which command? Ng new the project name. Ng new the project name. I am giving the project name as Angular project. Press enter key. It is asking, would you like to add Angular routing? Yes. Type Y and press enter key. And it's asking which style sheet format would you like to use. I want to go with CSS. So just press enter key. Then it's going to install the packages here. It's going to install the packages, means the Angular software here. So it will take some small time to install this Angular. So once the installation is completed, it's going to show the prompt back to us. So let us wait until it gets installed. So it depends on the system configuration. It is going to take the time, approximately 5 minutes. In my case, within 2 minutes, it is going to get installed. Right? So it's going to create this project to us. So once the project is created, what we need to do? We need to open this folder. What is the project you have created? We have to open the folder and we have to type which command? ngser to compile and run our application. Then we have to open browser to see the result of our application and type this URL localhost 4200. So still it is installing the software, the packages. Right, done. Once the installation is completed, it's going to show the prompt back to us. Now see, what is our next step? Once you create project, to run Angular project. To run Angular project, we are in Angular folder, we have to say cd Angular project. Whatever the project we have created, that will become folder. Then now we are in Angular project folder. Now we are in Angular project folder. Now we have to use the command ngser. Once we use the command ngser, after successful compilation, open browser and type the following URL: http:// localhost colon 4200. Let me show the steps now. See here, if I say dir, you can see a folder has been created, the project folder, cd Angular project. Now we are in Angular project folder. Now use which command? ngser. ngser. Right? So it has compiled successfully. It has compiled successfully. Now we have to open browser and type this URL. Open browser and type the URL http://localhost colon 4200. That's it. So if it is showing this image to you like welcome, Angular project app is running, that means indicates our installation is successful. Creation of project is successful. So this much you have to do compulsory from your end before you join next class. Clear? Any questions? No. To terminate this compilation, we have to say Control C. Control C will come back to the project. So to terminate, Control C. Then it is going to show the prompt back to us. Now let us understand the Angular workflow. Angular workflow. So to understand, open Angular project folder in Visual Studio Code. Open Angular project folder in Visual Studio Code. We are in Angular project folder now. How to open this folder in Visual Studio Code is just to type here code dot using the following command. Open Angular project folder, or you can directly open Visual Studio Code. From there also you can open folder, no worries, anything is same. Or simple words, when you are in the project folder, just to say code dot, that's it. Then this complete project will get opened in Visual Studio Code. See here. So just say here code dot. Then this project will get opened in Visual Studio Code. This is not only for Angular project, anywhere. Any folder if you want to open in Visual Studio Code, just say code dot. Then the respective folder will get loaded in Visual Studio Code. Press enter key. There it's opening Visual Studio Code. So you can trust this. Then close the welcome screen. See here, the Angular project folder has been loaded here. Now, in this folder, whenever you make a request to your Angular project using this URL localhost 4200, it will come to this Angular project folder under that src, under this index.html file. So this file will get loaded first. So whenever you make a request to Angular project, which file will be loaded? Index.html file present in Angular project src folder. Right? In this file, you can see the element app root. You can see the element app root. So by using this element app root, it's going to load the app component. App component means a part of area of your web page, and the root component of Angular is app component. So once we create an Angular project, a component will get created by your Angular, and that component is app component. This is the root component of Angular. So this is the page what it is getting loaded. We are getting see this result now. So this complete component is loaded from app component. This is app component totally. Then under this app component, you can see a file app.component.ts file. See, it's a class app component. And what is the selector to enter into this component? To load this component, what is the selector name? See, app root. That only it has been used over here. See, under body app root. So by using this element app root, it's going to load your app component because the selector to enter into this component is app root. Then the presentation of app component is done in a file app.component.html. See the template URL, the presentation is done what? In the file app.component.html. See here, app.component.html. So this content is getting displayed in our web page here. This content is getting displayed on our web page when you make a request to this Angular project using localhost 4200. Let me prove this. If I remove this complete code and if I type here, welcome to Angular project. Once we save it, now since we have done modification, we have to compile our application using which command? ngserve. Your project folder, use ngserve to compile. Now see, if we refresh this page, see here, we are getting here, welcome to Angular project. So whatever the content we type over here, whatever we type here, that is once we save it, that we are getting here. So who is taking care of doing here the presentation part? app.component.html file. So the content whatever we type in this app.component.html file, this content will be displayed on our client browser. Right? Now, who is taking care of styling? See the file? The style URLs, who is taking care of styling? app.component.css. So open this app.component.css, no code will be there. Now do the styling for h3 element. We'll say text align, center, color, red. And once we save it, see we get the styles also. Here, welcome to Angular project is coming in what? A red color, center aligned. Right? So what are the points here? The Angular workflow. When a request is made to an Angular project, the server loads index.html file. Okay, where it is present in Angular project src folder. In index.html file, using the element app root, the server loads app component. The server loads app component, that is app.component.ts file. So the extension what we give for TypeScript file is .ts. The presentation of app component is done in app.component.html file. The styling of app component is done in app.component.css file. Right? All the things you can find in the folder app folder. Here you can see under src app folder, there you can see all our files here. Clear? Any questions? Now, in this app.component.ts file, the class app component, we are having a variable title, and this is the value of your variable Angular project. Now I want to take the value of this variable here in this app.component.html. Instead of typing this Angular project directly, I want to take the value of this property, the data member. Then how to take it is using the concept of data binding. How to use the concept of data binding is two curly braces. In between two curly braces, we have to provide the name of the variable. Here, one more example. If I write something like emp name equal to some name in double quotes or single quotes. Now I want to take the value of this emp name here in HTML file. Say here H4 paragraph. We'll say hello. How to take that emp name. In two curly braces we are right. Now coming to this app.component.css. Now let us go with the styling for paragraph also. Text align center, color blue, font size from 20 pixel. Now see here we are getting the result. No need to reload also. If already it is compiled, no need to reload. Directly we get the result. So this is the value of your variable title and this is the value of your emp name. And see we are getting even the styles also. So separation of files will be there automatically. There will be separate files for writing the logic of your code, everything. We go with this class here, app component. The styling is done using CSS file. The presentation is done using HTML file. So the files also will be created to us. Just we have to go to the respective file and modify the code based on the requirement. And what is this two curly braces we call? Data binding. Data binding. Okay. So refer these programs. app.component.ts file, app.component.html file, app.component.css file. Okay. Then one more point let me mention here. App is the root component of Angular project. App is the root component of Angular project. Okay. So please practice this compulsory, very important one. Compulsory you have to install Angular, make your system ready to work with Angular. Right. So in the next class Monday, we go with the remaining topics of Angular, like we go with the Angular directives. We are having star ng if star ng for Angular directives. Then we'll see how to go with Angular forms to accept user input, and very important topic we'll discuss, Angular routing to develop single page applications. So these three topics we'll be doing in the next class. Then third class, the last day, where we go with the Angular HTTP client module, very important module. So by using this Angular HTTP client module, we can invoke a service running on server. Means whatever the REST API we create using Spring Boot, that API we can able to access from our Angular application. So we take the data from our Java application running in a Java server, and the data which is coming to Angular, in Angular we take care of doing the presentation part. So very important one that we will be doing on the last day. Right? Thank you all and happy weekend.